Star Fox is back. Kinda. Like, this is a very unscripted video, so I'm just gonna try and run through these bullet points. I have my other monitor, but Star Fox is back for another remake, again, of Star Fox 64, which, to be honest, I'm not surprised at all, because Star Fox 64 is like the most remade game I think Nintendo has ever done. I think it's the only time Nintendo has remade like a game twice, which is really impressive, I guess, until they did the Ocarina of Time remake. But it's like so impressive how much they've recycled this one game, and they still haven't got it right, especially Zero. Like, I think that's why we're getting a new Star Fox 64 remake, is because Zero was so bad of an attempt at remaking Star Fox 64 that nobody played it and nobody liked it, so they had to restart again. And also the fact that they're making a Star Fox movie. So what are they going to adapt a Star Fox movie from? Star Fox 64. So they're like, oh, let's put a Star Fox game with the plot of Star Fox 64 out, so people play that, and then people can go into the movie and be like, oh, this is the plot from the game I played. Also, I know people keep on saying this is a reboot, but it's not a reboot. It's not. It's a remake of Star Fox 64. So it's probably like a return to the old timeline of Star Fox, if anything. And also, I just think that this remake was probably done pretty quickly, you know, to match up with the good old Mario Galaxy movie cameo. So that's probably why it's a remake. So they could just have something thrown out, like just reuse all the like level design, all the ideas, almost everything from the original Star Fox 64, because they already made Star Fox 64. Doing like a refresh of the visuals with like the millions of dollars Nintendo has is probably really easy. So that's probably about like when 2024, when Illumination was like, oh, we want to put Star Fox in our movie, Nintendo was probably like, okay, we can make a Star Fox 64 remake in like a year and a half, 2 years, and just throw it out on Switch like a month before it comes out, just announce it. That's probably why they're doing another 64 remake. Where to start with the fucking designs, though? The designs are... I like them, kinda. It's like... I think there's good ideas, for sure. There's for sure great ideas with the designs. I like them going more animalistic, I guess. But also, I just feel like... It's like... What's it called? Like, with Rango and, like, Fantastic Mr. Fox, those designs, you know, they have, like, normal proportionality. They have, like, normal legs. They don't... I think that's the issue. They don't have, like, fox legs or, like, bird legs or, like, rabbit legs. They have human legs with, like, fox paws. And then their faces are not completely animal, like the Star Fox, whatever we call it, Star Fox 2026, I guess. The Star Fox 26 ones, which are mostly just the animal. Like, Falco looks like a real bird. But I think I prefer it over Zero. Zero was... I feel like people are like, oh, the Zero designs look so good, but they look good in like renders that you see on like the like Google image results for Star Fox Zero. In game, they look fucking despicable. So I don't know why anybody's like, oh, Zero was way better than this, when Zero was fucking gross looking when you looked at it in motion. When this game looks pretty good in motion, unlike Zero. And also 64 3D. 64 3D is so ugly. I know it's just like using the same code base as the original. I don't know if that's right tech jargon or whatever, but I know it's built on top of a lot of the original assets from Star Fox 64. So like 3D just like is just the same assets with like just textures spread on. Looks like a shitty texture pack, which I'm not really fond of. But I think the visuals, like for the most part in this game, look great. Besides the characters, which, man, Fox himself looks pretty good. I think he's probably the best one. I feel like a lot of his original personality was taken in. He still has, you know, the face of Fox McCloud from all the other games. He just has a really thick, like, almost like gout neck. And I think he looks the most on model, I would say. Slippy can look good too. I think Slippy looks pretty good as well. But also I think there's a big problem with this game where they just refuse to minimize the most ugly features of the model, because Slippy always has these like disgusting like lower eyelids that push up, and it makes him look gross. When they don't use those, he looks great, I would say. He looks pretty good. He looks better than Zero, I want to say. But they just love using those ones that push him up They're like pushing up those like lower eyelids, so he looks really gross and like disgusting. And then Falco is easily the worst, I want to say. Falco got so much of like a facial makeover, like compared to the others. Like all the other ones, I feel like a lot of their visual identity stayed with them, but Falco, like he doesn't even have the same face shape anymore. His beak is completely different, and the feathers just throw all of it off. I think it's just, I don't know what they were thinking with Falco. I get they want to try to make him look like an asshole, but he looks more like a dork than an asshole, I want to say. I feel like they kind of just missed the mark with his design, but otherwise, I think the designs are good with at least Star Fox. Star Wolf is... No. Star Wolf is bad. I'm gonna just say it. Star Wolf is bad. At least from the few screenshots we've seen of Star Wolf, Wolf looks awful. Leon looks fucking like looks fucking crazy. I don't like how Leon looks at all. I think Pigma looks pretty great for how disgusting he is. I think it works really good for Pigma's character. And then Andrew's like always like fucking jutting his chin out. He's doing like some book smacking shit, which really does fit his character, but also is just so fucking weird, like to see him like having this fucking stupid Chad face on all the time. And also James looks good. James looks really good because they always cover his eyes with his fucking glasses. So a lot of the weirder like design details, and they always do like a one angle with him, at least in the footage of like the prologue or whatever. It's always the one angle of him sitting in the cockpit at a 3/4 angle where you can just see his face. And I think that looks great. I think that if they just showed a screenshot of that, I'd be completely sold on the visual design. But they wanted to show off those really ugly like wide shots of like Fox Burst, which were just despicable. I hated them. Oh yeah, I almost forgot Cat. I almost fucking forgot Cat. Cat is like, I don't want to say Cat's the worst. I feel like they had a good idea with Cat. I feel like the idea with Cat was a great idea. Make her look more rough, make her actually look like she's part of like a fucking gang. But I think they just kind of missed the mark. I think what really makes me gross, like, I think what they did was just like, they went really hard into like the ugly like, cats aren't ugly. Cats are pretty cute, I want to say. And they don't even really have cat eyes on Cat. She has like these weird like human eyes. She doesn't have like feline eyes where there's like a little like slant and then like a little bit of like green. It's like full on human eyes, which I just don't get. Which I just don't get. But I think the idea is good. I just think they need to like rethink it if they ever continue with this art style, which I don't think they're gonna. I think this is just a one-time thing to make a Star Fox 64 remake sound interesting to people again. Because like, why else would you buy a Star Fox 64 remake again? You already have it on NSO. Like, oh yeah, you have to give it a big weird facelift so people actually play it and make it look like fucking Beyond Good and Evil 2. Okay, there's actually a few really, really exciting things about this thing. The enhancements they're gonna do, that looks great. I love like the enhancements to the storyline. I love the prologue. I remember being in a Discord call and like trying not to squeal like a pig when I saw it because the prologue looked great. Prologue like really got me excited because Zero took the story so unseriously. It like cared not at all because it was just a remake. It was like a fucking game that was thrown out on Wii U when it was about to die. So like with Zero, they didn't care at all, but this seems like it cared a lot more about, you know, taking the characters seriously, taking the world seriously, which I like to see. You know, Star Fox isn't like fucking The Godfather or whatever, but I love the characters. I want to see them taken seriously, which is great to see that they're doing here. I like the briefings being turned into actual cutscenes, you know, where they're like in the Gray Fox talking to each other, talking to General Pepper, or they're in their armies after the war is in. I think that's a great idea to like flesh out those little bits of dialogue at the beginning and the end of each level. Make it feel more, I guess, cinematic is what they're going for to set up the movie, I guess. But I think it works for Star Fox tone because it is just a Star Wars like ripoff. That's the entire point. It's a Star Wars homage of a video game. So I feel like that's a great idea. Also, James like the text of him saying "presumed dead" and like the little like Smash Bros. Trophy menu they have, or whatever the fuck. That is so James is not dead. Like, I don't think it takes a genius to realize that means James McCloud is alive and he's going to come back. Which makes me think, oh, maybe we're going to get like an old campaign with James or something. which I would love. I would love like new things to do with Star Fox 64 instead of just the same campaign, the same layouts over and over and over. If they turned expert mode into like a James like sort of like prologue campaign, I would love that way more than anything else they've shown off so far. Also, the Nintendo article for this game says they had more to share that they haven't shared yet, which I know they could probably just be like, oh, we haven't shown these levels off, but I think that means that there's something that they're hiding, which would be nice, because I feel like it's hard to get like even a little bit excited about Star Fox 64 Remake anymore, even if I know this is just not the end of Star Fox again. I remember seeing this in the Direct. I remember seeing it. I was like, oh my god, is that actually what I think it is? And yes, it was the fucking... They had, like, Free as a Bird, the gang, Cat, and Falco are in the Star Fox Adventures prequel comic in the game. They have that, like, multiple references to that in the game, which signals to me in my head that this is not another reboot. This is just them returning to the original storyline, the original OG timeline, I guess. But, oh my god, that was, like, the most exciting thing I think they showed, besides the prologue thing. It was so exciting to see them actually somewhat care about the other things with Star Fox instead of just 64. Like, I know it's a really small thing to get excited about, but you know, I love Star Fox. I love like all these weird fucking games, and they haven't shown anything for them. Adventures isn't even on NSO, so that was really cool to see. This isn't really an enhancement, I'd say, but all the lines have been changed. You can tell with all like the dialogue that a lot of it has been just shifted or changed or altered in some way. I think there's a lot of weird changes, which I don't really appreciate. Especially like Falco's "This is horrible" line being removed.
Andros sure has trashed the place.
I don't really like that. I just don't think that fits Falco's character at all. I feel like it was a good idea to like, give a little bit of a gleam into his actual personality instead of like keeping his full like barrier of being a prick around him the entire time. I don't get why they changed that line. There is one line that I really do like though, when you go into like the waterfall and like Falco and Fox start bickering with each other and Peppy has to come in and be the father figure and intermediate.
You'd better be right about this, Falco. I say we trust Falco's instincts.
I really do like that. I do think that is a great change. I think they should keep on with that because that was a really good change to the dialogue, and I think it, you know, kind of strengthens their bond. Hopes. I just hope for more levels. Like, I feel like that's a pretty common hope, is just more Star Fox instead of, you know, the same thing over and over and over. An alt campaign with either Star Wolf or like James' team, which I talked about earlier, that would be great. I feel like that would just be a great extension to Star Fox's story. Also, I just hope this game isn't a failure. I'm not like a Nintendo dick rider, really. I don't really care that much, but I just hope that this game does okay, because Zero was such a fucking flop that I think Nintendo has been so scared. That's why it took a decade, like, on the dot for this game to be announced, because they were just so scared of Star Fox being in anything again, because nobody cared when Zero came out. So I just hope this one has a little bit more of an audience, which I think it already does. I think people cared a lot more when this was announced compared to Zero. At least it feels like it does. I hope this game ends with a tease for the next game. It just has to. I don't think anybody wants to wait around for another decade just to get another remake. It better end with a tease for a fucking follow-up. Because I don't want to wait around all fucking decade for another Star Fox that's just 64 again. I think nobody wants that again. So there better be a tease for another Star Fox coming up at the end of this game. Or, you know, like 100% reward or whatever. I just think that we need that. We don't need any more fucking yanking or chain. More unlockables too. I feel like they already kind of have that. They have a bunch of little like player icons in the multiplayer, which you probably unlock for doing all the challenges or whatever. But I just hope that this game is just full of unlockables. That's what I liked about the medals in the original Star Fox 64, because they unlock things in like the multiplayer. I just feel like they just need to keep that. Maybe more stages from the multiplayer, maybe new pilots, something just like that small, you know, to keep you actually interested in replaying the game. Because I think now in 2026, nobody's just going to replay the game to get a high score, even though I love doing that. I fucking love arcade games, but I don't think the average fucking like Super Mario Galaxy movie viewer that this game is appealing to is going to be wanting 100% Star Fox 64 just because Mario fucking Galaxy movie has Fox in it. I don't think anybody's going to want to do that. So I think they need to have a motivator for that. Also, please, I know this is like that fucking like Joji like concert thing, but I hope Crystal is mentioned at least once, because I can't. Ugh, you sound like a fucking loser, but like, I like Crystal. I don't want Crystal to just be not in games anymore. In Zero, I got it because it was like a reboot, but this is a 64 remake. She better at least get a mention. Like Zero gave a mention of Saria, the dinosaur planet.
Oh, come on, just try it.
I'm bored.
It has been 10 whole days since we left Soria, you know.
So at least that would make me happy, you know? Also, please pay me, please. I feel like that's like the most common thing for Nintendo fans to ask for when it comes to Star Fox is, oh yeah, put Faye and Mew in Star Fox 2, you released that game, so why don't you do it? But also I kind of agree, why aren't they in the game? I get it's a different timeline or whatever, but you don't care about the storyline of Star Fox. That's why you rebooted it. Like, just do it. Just do it. It would make everybody happy, even if they looked like fucking real dog and real cat. Please, I just want Andros to die in this game too. That's one of my biggest hopes. I think that's like my biggest hope is that Andros is dead for good. I don't need him to come back in like a fucking Adventures remake or whatever. He needs to be dead in this game. We need to move on. Like, I am so tired of Andros. He was cool in Star Fox 64. He was not cool in anything else. In Adventures, he was fucking pathetic because he came in like 30 hours into that game and like was the most lame boss ever, and then Falco had to come in and save you. Please don't bring back Andros. That's all I want. That's all I want. Oh, please. Well, there's the future of Star Fox, which I don't know how many people really paid attention to this. I feel like a lot of people brushed it off when the rumors started circulating around, but there was a leak around the same time that this Star Fox game was leaked. There was like, oh, here's a classic game for this year, and there's also going to be a Adventures-styled game for next year, which I hope so. I hope this isn't the end of Star Fox again, which I kind of doubt it is. There's so many rumors about a Star Fox movie coming out that I don't think this is going to be the end of Star Fox. I think this is a much bigger attempt to reboot Star Fox into something really big and special, which I hope so, because God, it's been so boring these past few years. Like, it's been a decade since Zero released and bombed, and I'm glad to see this because it's a way bigger, ambitious game compared to Zero. Zero it took them 3 years to really release the game. They announced in 2013 that they were making a Star Fox for Wii U, and then when it finally came out, it looked like shit. It looked like a Wii game from 2009. So, I mean, this game isn't mind-blowing. I think it looks pretty, but I just hope that this isn't another fizzle Star Fox Zero was. I feel like every single person has posted this on Twitter at this point, but there is this Nintendo internal image. I think I'm going to put it up on screen or whatever. There's this Nintendo internal image where Star Fox is mentioned. Fox McCloud is in the little corner out of all the characters to put in that image. So I think that they want to grow Star Fox as an IP, which is exciting because the series has been kind of a corpse these past few years. That would make me happy to see. I want to see Star Fox, live on and prosper because it's way more interesting than fucking, I don't know what else series Nintendo has anymore. Mario? Okay, let's be so for real. What person would complain if every single time they made a Mario Party game, they threw that out, instead made a new Star Fox game? Who would be mad about that? No one. I mean, sure, some fucking asshole will be like, why aren't there any Mario Party games anymore? But it's fucking Mario Party. There's so much filler in Nintendo's schedule of Mario games and Yoshi games and fucking Princess Peach games that why can't they make more Star Fox games? I feel like nobody would be mad at that. I think that's a reasonable thing to expect. Also, now that I look at it, this game is selling decently. I think I've already said this in this video before, but I'm not a Nintendo cock gobbler or whatever, but it's nice to see this game, selling decently well. It's on the top of the Amazon charts or whatever, which is nice. Star Fox is usually a flop, so it's nice to see it not flopping for once. It's nice to see that Star Fox probably won't die again. I mean, there's no guarantee of that. Zero wasn't supposed to kill it, but it did. So I don't know if this is a guaranteed win, but I think we're probably going to be okay. But overall, I think I'm pretty positive about this. I think the like first shock, like there was a really big shock when I first saw it because it was, oh my god, why the fuck do they look like that? Why the fuck do they look like that? Why is it remake? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I'm so pissed off, I'm so annoyed, I'm so pissed off, I'm so annoyed. But then after a little bit, I kind of subsidized in my like rational brain one through, and I was like, I mean, it looks pretty good. It's a remake of a game I like. So I know the game's gonna be fun to play on like Zero, which Zero is fucking bullshit. So I think that is just more exciting than anything. And also, in my head, I don't think anybody else agrees with me. I think this is returning to the original continuity, which makes me happy. I would love to see them go on from Assault. I know Command kind of fucking ruined everything, but I feel like, maybe I'll just make a video about this, but I feel like Command, you could just skip that and just restart from Assault and continue on. I feel like nobody would complain about that. I think if they made a new game, if you did that, nobody would be mad. Okay, so I think that's the end of the video. I don't have much else to talk about. I guess it's nice Star Fox is not a dead franchise like I thought it would be, because I honestly thought Zero was the end. So it's nice to see Star Fox not a corpse. But that's all I really gotta say. How do you fucking end YouTube videos? I haven't like done this in a while. Okay, I'll just do like the fucking like PewDiePie outro or whatever. Just do that.